Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for joining today's CHOC Walk webinar. So sorry we were having some technical difficulties in the beginning, but we're ready to get started. So I'll give everybody just a minute to get in and then we can kick things off. Okay, perfect. So now that we have a good portion of people in here, we are really excited to chat with you all about this year's CHOC Walk. So if you didn't already know, CHOC Walk 2025 is taking place this year on August 3rd, which is the first Sunday of August. We are so excited to be back in August. We're going to have an end of summer celebration together. We can't wait. This will be our 33rd year, I believe. Don't quote me on that one. That we will be joining together again at the Disneyland Resort. So we're so excited. It's going to be bright and early, kicking off our CHOC campaign in the Disneyland Resort, like I mentioned. So before we jump into the details, I wanted to first show you just a little bit of what to expect for that event day.
What an incredibly beautiful sight to see all of you. Thank you so much for getting up very early this morning and coming out and supporting CHOC. We're celebrating CHOC's 60th anniversary of serving children and families throughout Southern California.
Let's build on our community. I encourage everyone here to share your stories to the teams next to you. What keeps you going to the CHOC Walk? Why do you walk? What inspires you? Share your journey as we walk through CHOC Walk. And I want this to be the strongest walk ever. Now let's rock this walk for CHOC! Yeah!
Awesome. So I'm glad that I'm able to show you just a little piece of what that morning entails. So if you haven't been to CHOC Walk Morning, it's really hard to put it into words unless you've actually been there. You see a little glimpse of it, but it's anywhere from 6,000 plus people joining together on CHOC Walk Day, bright and early in the morning to celebrate CHOC. So a lot of the people coming together for this event are our community groups, some of our corporate partners, and of course our CHOC families that we're celebrating, and some of our CHOC nurses and doctors. It's a great way for all of these groups to come together and really celebrate what CHOC does for our community, honor those that are on their CHOC journey or that have been on a CHOC journey, and just really have a time to come together and walk together. Really, you're walking down Main Street and you see signs and posters of people that have been at CHOC, that know somebody at CHOC. CHOC has saved their life. You'll see people that are walking in memory of somebody that has been through CHOC's walls. You'll see people that maybe don't even know anyone at CHOC, but are so grateful for what they do for the community, just out there celebrating what all of our nurses and doctors and organization is able to do for Orange County and beyond. So really, it's a great way to get together and celebrate. Aside from that, it's also a great way for us to share that message out with the rest of the community that doesn't know about CHOC. So believe it or not, there are people in Orange County that don't even know about CHOC, don't know that we have a world-class organization right here in our backyard. And that is what the CHOC Walk is about. We want to reach as many people as possible and let them know all of the great things that we're doing and the great things that we want to do. So at the end of the day, CHOC really is a fundraiser. We're here to raise money for the hospital. All of these great advancements that you see, all of the things that we're trying to do to make us such a better organization, it's all because of the fundraising we do at the CHOC Walk. So these funds all go directly back to the hospital. I can say 100% of what we raise goes back to CHOC's greatest need. So things like our child life department, which you'll hear more about later. It helps kids feel like they're not in a hospital when they're in a hospital. We want to really make it a great experience for patients and families while they're here. So things like that that don't receive funding typically, we fundraise for that. For people that come to CHOC and don't have the ability to pay, we fundraise to cover because we do not want to send anybody away that needs care. So these funds that we're raising collectively on our teams, individually, it's all going back to CHOC. And this day really is the culmination of all the hard work of all of our fundraisers. It is really piece by piece, we're bringing this together, person by person. No donation is too small. And I think this event really does a great job of showing what happens when we come together as a community, when we come together with all of our, corporations and all of our friends and family, we're able to do great things. And so that event day is really a celebration of what we're able to accomplish. So some of the details, if you've never been to CHOC Walk, I want to make sure you have the key event details. So we already mentioned the date, Sunday, August 3rd. The start time, we don't have the official start time, but it is going to be bright and early in the morning because we are getting a unique experience. We're going to be in the park before it opens to the public. So our CHOC walkers are going to be the only people in the park at that time. Essentially, you're going to walk through both parks, Disneyland and California Adventure. There's going to be special experiences along the way. You'll have character moments, you'll have photo locations, there'll be music and liveliness. It's just a really, really fun, like I said, celebration for CHOC. So it's going to be early because it's going to be before anybody comes in the morning. Once we have that official start date, we're going to be listing that on the website. So you'll be able to get on the event info page, which we have listed on there. But again, it's really just a great fun celebration in the morning. You come out wearing your CHOC Walk swag. If you're on a team, we encourage you to wear team shirts, get matching shirts, matching tutus, whatever it might be, and just come out and celebrate. Our registration is now open. So we have a link here to go on the website for the registration page. Every person that is 3 and above, so starting at age 3 and above, you'll need to register and fundraise for that fundraising minimum. So we'll talk a bit about what that minimum is, but each person will need to register. You can either be an individual registered, or if you want to be a part of a team, you can join a team. You can do either or, it doesn't have to just be a team. You can walk by yourself with your family, or you can join with your whole corporation and make a team, either way. Whether you're a registered individual or a team member, every person is going to have the minimum in their account. So regardless if you're on a team and you're a part of a 50-person collective, each person on that team is going to have to reach the 125. So I know that's a big question that we usually get. For the fundraising minimum, so each person is going to have to raise 125. That's the minimum. When you go on the website to register, it will ask you for a $10 registration fee. That's going to be so that we can reserve your spot. We definitely have a maximum capacity of what we can accommodate. So $10 will get you in the system. It'll reserve your spot and it gives you that time to fundraise the remainder. So we really encourage fundraising. We don't need you to outright just pay for the 125 unless you want to. You absolutely can do that right when you register, but 125, it is very easy to fundraise. There's lots of ways, which we'll talk about in just a second. But we really highly encourage fundraising. So reach out to your community, reach out to friends and family. And that way, like I said, every person that you have registered, whether it be each family member or each team member, will get you to that 125. And so when you've reached your 125, you're ready to go. You'll want to come in to our event check-in. So every person is going to have to come to our check-in office, which will be at the Anaheim Hotel, right across the street from Disney. So it's walking distance from the resort. If you're flying in that weekend and you're staying around the resort, it's walking distance from Disneyland, so you can walk right over. We'll be in there the Friday and Saturday before the event, and all of the hours and location details are listed on the website, which we have linked right here, but we'll have you come on down to check in. Either you have already reached your minimum, or if you need to pay the remainder, say you have just a little bit left, You could also bring in money during that time. So you can come pick up your items, pay the remainder, and get all of your incentives that you've earned, which we'll talk about in a second. One question we do get quite a bit: can I check in for other people? Yes, absolutely. If you want to check in for your whole family, if you want to check in for your whole team, we absolutely encourage that. And we'll have a separate area reserved if you're picking up for a large group, so we can help you out. There are some restrictions just when it comes to Disney tickets. Obviously, we don't just want to hand out tickets unless we know they're going to the right person. So just make sure you check that check-in page for all of the guidelines, but really easy. If you want to check in for anyone else, just follow all those details. And big caveat, there will be no check-in on the day of the event. So we want to make sure you see us before the event day. So that 1st and 2nd of August, make sure you come over. If you can't check in, like I said, you could send a family member. You can even send a friend, even if it's somebody that's not going to the CHOC Walk, but is nearby and can pick it up for you. As long as we have all of the stipulations of what we need for Disney tickets, we can send that off with them. You can get that from a friend or family member. We want to make sure you come to check in. The day of the event, you're going to be showing up, already have your wristband. You're going to be showing that wristband to get in for free parking, because parking will be included, but you'll need your wristband already. So make sure you check in before. As a last case scenario, if you're not able to check in, you can't send a friend, can't send a family member, we will have wristbands available that morning. So if you've already reached that minimum, we're not going to send you away. We want to make sure you get in the event because you raised that amount. We will have a table available so we can get you your wristband, but we will not have any other materials. So no shirts, pins, medallions. It won't be a full check-in. It will really just be if you lost your wristband, if your wristband, you weren't able to pick it up, we'll have it. But again, just really want to stress, we need you to come to us beforehand, and all the details will be on the website. Final just point of questions that we typically get: hotels. So yes, we want you to come stay with us for the weekend. We want to make it a CHOC Walk weekend. We will have hotel discounts available. They're not listed yet. We are very close to finalizing. So I would say in the next couple weeks, we should have that listed. It'll have its own page on the website. So I'd say just to keep checking back. We are going to have Disneyland hotels at the Disneyland Resort that'll be included, and some other nearby, like the Anaheim Hotel. So definitely take a look. We'll have discounts. We want you to stay the weekend. We want you to enjoy your full CHOC Walk Disney experience. So that will be coming soon. Okay, so fundraising incentives. I did mention if you raise above the minimum, so above that 125, you could earn additional prizes, and we have lots of great prizes. So you can see here we have a copy of last year's merchandise. We don't have this year's yet, but we will have that soon. So we have a CHOC Walk pin that you could get, a commemorative pin for $200. So if you raise that, you'll also get a pin. If you raise $375, that is the medallion level, but you're also going to get a great package because you'll also get a Disney ticket. So $375 is going to get you a ticket for that day of the CHOC Walk, which only that day, only August 3rd. It will already have a reservation. It's already going to be ready to go. So once you have that ticket, you'll come to the CHOC Walk, and as soon as you finish and exit, you'll be able to visit both parks, so Disney and California Adventure. This is a great deal. $375 means you get a full CHOC Walk exclusive experience, you get a pin, a medallion, and you get a ticket to enjoy the park that day. So I know people really want to stay in the park. That's a big question too. Once you're done, can you stay in the park? No, it's not included in the 125, but if you fundraise above, then you get a ticket to stay for the whole day. So really want to stress that, really want to encourage it. I would definitely check out the website. We do have a cap for that package. So the first 2,000 people that fundraise $375 are going to get that ticket, but we will not have above that. So I would definitely say if you're interested in staying in the park, you want to get a ticket, I would fundraise early. We do have a deadline on that ticket package. I believe it's July 25th, the Friday before our CHOC Walk. But again, check the website, check the details, and just get started early. Start reaching out early, start fundraising early. That way, you know you have your ticket. You don't have to worry about selling out, and you're good to go. Above that $375, we also have additional tickets. So if you raise $675 and above, we have more tickets. So these tickets are actually park hopper tickets that can be used at a future date. So if you want to stay the day of the walk, you do $375, and then you raise $675, you get another ticket to use on a day in the future. So say you want to come back a month later, say you want to come back 5 months later. It's typically good up to a year after the CHOC Walk. We don't have those dates yet. We won't have them for a little while, but it's typically a good portion of time. So I would say check the website and keep posted on that, but it's a great deal. You get 2 tickets at $675, and then as you go higher, you get more tickets. So great incentive. We're super grateful to work with our partners at the Disneyland Resort, be able to offer tickets, because I know people love Disney Magic, want to be able to do CHOC and Disney, and this is a great way. If you fundraise, it's a win-win. All the money comes back to CHOC. You get to experience the CHOC Walk in the morning, and you also get a Disney ticket. So definitely would highly encourage to check out that prize page. We also have some great top prizes. So our top 3 fundraisers overall are going to get some great packages that include VIP guides, hotel suites, park experiences, all that stuff. So definitely really excited about our prizes. I would take a look at that page in case you have any questions about that. Now I want to pass it over to Emily, who's going to talk a little bit on how you can raise money for all those packages, for your incentives, and more.
Thank you, Ash. So yes, lots of different ways to fundraise. And I know Ashley alluded to earlier saying, you know, if you have a large family, if you're trying to fundraise for multiple people to get into the CHOC Walk, I know it can be a little overwhelming at times if you think, gosh, I have 6 family members and $125 each, and how are we going to do that? But rest assured, there is plenty of time, as Ashley indicated, and you know, we really do encourage you to lean in, do the fundraising. Don't feel like you have to pay $125 per person. You know, there's easy ways to fundraise, and gonna chat through some of those right now, which you can see some of these are the high level. We have our fundraising toolkit. We have a step-by-step kind of how to reach your goal, which really coincides nicely with the incentive packages that Ashley just mentioned. How to plan a restaurant fundraiser, how to create your own event if you're feeling creative, want to do a little DIY. We have matching gifts, corporate fundraising ideas, and even just going back to basics, crafting that personal ask letter and really just leaning into your story. So many of you have such impactful, inspiring stories of how CHOC has saved your life or saved your child's life, or you know, whatever it may be. So we definitely encourage you to lean into those. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and can walk you through some of the website so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So if you've already registered, you should be well familiar with this page. This is our CHOC Walk website. So from the home page, you'll navigate across the top. This is, again, if you're on a desktop, it's going to look a little bit different from a phone or whatnot. But you'll navigate across the top to our fundraising section. So I'll start off on fundraising tips. And this is kind of a good overview that what I just showed you, that little grid of different ways to raise. We have our fundraising toolkit, which is kind of a high level general overview of all of our fundraising. And then you have specific types of fundraising, which I discussed, so reaching your goals, matching gifts, etc. At the bottom, there's additional fundraising tips. So even if it's just going back to basics of, gosh, I don't even know who to ask, right? And you can build your contact list, and really kind of drives you to think about, okay, not just my family that I'm asking, but my friends, my colleagues, my neighbors, my church groups, you know, so on and so forth. So definitely encourage you to walk through all of these in your own time, but I will highlight a few of the pieces. So this is the getting to your dream fundraising goal. And like I mentioned, it coincides nicely, the 125, that fundraising minimum, our pin level is 225, and so on and so forth. So, you know, it kind of just breaks it down into real life. You start off with a $10 registration fee. You write that personal and heartfelt email or a text message. You can do different lengths. We know that in the day that we live in, most people are texters and things like that. So maybe it's just crafting a nice little condensed paragraph of, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is why it's so important, and love your support. And so kind of walk through that aspect of it. You could do an opportunity drawing. So selling maybe a $2 raffle ticket to win a Disney plush or things like that. So I know that, you know, people have asked in the past, do we have things to offer to help with fundraising? We do have kind of a small amount of stuff. If it's something you're interested in, your team can reach out to us at chocwalk@choc.org, and we're happy to discuss with you and see what options. We don't have a ton of things to offer, but if we do, we will be happily support you and your team. And this can be other things. You can always ask folks in your community if there's a restaurant you frequent often or a store or something like that. Help them say, hey, would you be willing to donate an item? I'd love to use it as a fundraising incentive for my friends and family, whether it's a raffle basket or an individual item you're raffling off via Instagram or Facebook or whatever, however you're going to promote that, and encourage people to make donations to your page, and then they're entered in to win. Posting on social media and asking your friends for a donation to skip their Starbucks this Friday, those kinds of things goes a long way. And I'll show you actually Facebook in a moment. I forgot I set it up, and all of a sudden I had 3 donations, and I've already met my 125 minimum. So it's definitely really quick, easy ways. Matching gifts I'll talk about in a second, but this really just kind of breaks down each level and encourage you, different ways to fundraise, as well as how much might you need to do. The more you want to raise, the more outreach you'll need to do. Not every single person is going to donate, and that's okay. But if you're only asking 5 people and you're expecting to raise $500, that means an average of $100 donation per person, right? So you're going to have to expand how many people you're reaching out to and getting more and more donations. So this one really quick, restaurant fundraisers. This is a really easy way to do, especially good group fundraising as well. So these are just kind of a basic how-to. Ask your favorite restaurant. We've included some. These are more of those chain restaurants that typically do fundraising and opportunities like this, but don't discount your local mom and pop shops. I know a number of teams actually that we work with at our CHOC Walk fundraisers that have gone to someone locally in their community that they know, maybe they frequent often, and they say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Again, this is why it's so important. We'd love for your support. Would you be willing to donate a percentage of funds coming back to CHOC in our CHOC Walk fundraising? So, really kind of don't limit yourself. Try to think outside the box of folks that you could encourage. Planning, promoting is huge. Obviously, you need to get people there to actually get the fundraising dollars. So make sure that you're including everyone. If it's with a certain group of people, is it somewhere near the office and you're encouraging everyone to stop and get dinner on their way home before they go home to their families? Is it a club or community where it's, after baseball practice, let's all go to Chipotle and get dinner, and that's really an area and a group of people that you can lean into. So anyway, things like that, take a look at these a little bit further. Like I said, there's a DIY event kind of questions of, what kind of event, how much are we going to charge per person, what other fundraising activities can we do while we're there, whether that's a raffle or something else. A lot of creative ideas to do that. And I would say that, these are really great group activities. Sometimes we get that question is, can we do team fundraising? Absolutely, yes. With that though, I would just encourage you to kind of think strategically who all is participating in the group fundraising and how are you distributing those funds. So if it's donations coming right onto the website, they will stay on the page they are at, or you can move an entire gift. So if someone donates $20 to me, but I want my $20 to go to Ashley's fundraising, or if you're a family and you want it to go to your kids' fundraising page, we can move an entire gift, but we can't split them up. So if someone makes a $500 donation on my page, I can't put half on someone else's page. It would have to be the entire money, the entire gift to move. So if you're doing something in a group setting, maybe it's trying to get cash at that fundraiser, or like a restaurant, for example, typically they will cut a check and then we can split the check amongst different people. So if there's any questions about group fundraising, please feel free again to reach out, chocwalk@choc.org, and one of us on the team would be happy to kind of walk you through that a little bit further and best support you. I want to touch on matching gifts. This is every year I'll say this, I think it's one of our most underutilized tools. I love matching gifts. It's such an easy way to double the impact that you're making. And so this is kind of just an easy how-to guide. It walks you through what are matching gifts, kind of shows you what it looks like. I'll take you to the website in just a moment, the steps of how to submit for a match, and then some real life examples. This information is provided by Double the Donation. This is not the expensive list. There are many more companies that do matching gifts, but just kind of to get an idea, there are plenty of companies out there that do matching gifts. And so I'll bring you back to that page here on the back on the website. If you do that fundraising drop down, you're going to look at the matching gift tab. So once you click on that, again, this is kind of what you just saw in those screenshots. In this search bar, you can search any company. So let's say it's Wells Fargo company, and you'll see a number of different companies will pop up that are in that area. So you can see there's a minimum amount of donation that you need to make. There's a maximum amount. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning if I donate $10, the company will, well, $25, the company will donate $25. Who's eligible? Full-time employees are, part-time employees are, but retired employees are not. And then typically, you'll see what kind of giving. We typically will fall into that health and human services aspect. Most companies do support all types of different organizations, but you can check on that. And then what's even great, like even more exciting, is most of them will have a area that says this is how you do it. So every company will operate a little bit differently. So this is a really great tool, because if you are a Wells Fargo employee, you can come here and click directly on this link. It'll open up to a login screen that you would have as a Wells Fargo employee. So it's a really great opportunity. And to be clear, it's not donations that I am receiving or making personally necessarily. Like if I don't work at Wells Fargo, I can't submit for a match from Wells Fargo. But if my aunt works at Wells Fargo, my aunt makes a donation to me, she can submit for that match. So it's, a really great opportunity, again, to look into this list or just start searching different companies in that search screen and say, who do I know that works at Boeing? Or who do I know that works at, Google, or whatever those companies are? And then you can make strategic asks to them and say, hey, we're doing this fundraising. Would you be willing to donate? And then would you be willing to submit for that match? Let's see. I'm gonna think if there's any other. I'll go to this as well. So we have opportunity for kind of creating your own flyers. I know sometimes people are like, I'm not a creative person. I am not into graphic design, which is okay, which is why we've made Canva templates. So we have this linked onto the website as well. And if you click onto it, it'll give you the opportunity to make a copy of this template. This first page just kind of explains what it is and how to do it. And then there's a few different flyer templates. So you'll see, if you click on these little notes, it'll say add your own team name. So you can write, Emily's team and see that it's, personalized then to my name. You can write your story here. You can drop in a photo right here. You add your own QR code. So really kind of step-by-step. All your tools are on the left-hand side of how to do so. Down to the QR code on the bottom left, you can enter the URL, which is the URL of your fundraising page, and create a customized URL and QR code. So it's really pretty user-friendly. If you don't know how to use Canva, if you've never used it, there's a link up here that has like a step-by-step guide of this is how you do this. This is how you insert a photo, all the creative design aspects. It's a really great tool. But those are just a few resource templates. You can do one with just a photo on the background. So maybe this is the type that you would want to hang up in your office or at your local dance studio or whatnot. And it just kind of gives that high level register today. Here's the information. They can cue the QR code back to your page to register. Or you can make kind of a thermometer level, right? Track how close are we getting to our goal. Again, those are great in those public spaces to motivate your friends or your colleagues or whatever that may be. And then lastly, I think I will just touch base regarding your fundraising page. I don't know that I normally walk through this. If you log into your fundraising page, this is what you'll see, something similar. You'll see that I'm on my dashboard. You see that I've raised $137 so far, the things that I've done. This is where you will do your Facebook connection. So I've actually already connected my Facebook fundraiser. So you'll see Emily's CHOC Walk fundraising page is already there in blue. If I had not yet set up my page, you would see a very similar blue box that says set up Facebook fundraiser. This is how you want to set up your Facebook fundraising. You click that box, it would give you a pop-up on your screen that basically says, have you log into your, your Facebook credentials, and then it will automatically link your Facebook fundraising to your fundraising page for CHOC Walk. It's really, really important that you do it through your dashboard like this. This is the only way that the systems talk and that you'll get credit for those gifts. If you just go onto Facebook you log into your regular Facebook page and you do set up, fundraiser for CHOC. It will come to CHOC at the end of the day, yes, but there's really no way to track whose donations those are. They come in kind of just randomly. We don't know who that money belongs to. So in order to get credit for your fundraising page, which we want you to, just make sure that you set it up through your dashboard on your fundraising page. And then while I'm here, I can just note as well, if you navigate over to the My Page section, this is really where you can do your customization. So as you can see, I have this wonderful photo of Team Lucas from last year's walk. You can go in here. We have some images pre-selected, but you can go here, select a campaign image or upload an image of your own, and that way you can customize it. That way when folks are coming to your page, that will have whatever custom photo you want, and then you can customize the information on your page. So every page comes with a standard language. I've added a little bit of a specialized note. I thankfully don't have a personal connection. I don't have a child that's been treated at CHOC, but I see firsthand the impact that CHOC makes on the lives of our families. And so you can add your own personal story, share your journey, add your photos. And that way, when people come to your page, they may know you personally, but it really kind of gives them more reason and context as to why CHOC is so important to you and why, you're asking them for a donation. In addition to that, you can customize your URL, I just do my initials. It's super simple versus the long kind of queue of numbers that you traditionally get. You can do, your goal, edit your goal in here. So all of these are really easy ways to navigate. I think that's all the highlights for the fundraising. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, Ash, unless there's anything else that you want me to discuss.
No, I think that was great. Thank you so much. What I am going to do, we've had a few questions in the chat and they've been relating to some of the stuff you've been chatting about. So I want to answer them now just so that we can get that top of mind. Just so everybody is aware, donations are tax deductible. So when you make a donation on the CHOC Walk website, it will automatically send you a tax receipt through your email. So make sure you put the proper email. If for some reason it gets lost, we could always get you a copy. But all of the donations of all sizes are going to be tax deductible. So make sure you share that with your donors. It's a great tax write-off. We definitely share that because all of our fundraising is going back to CHOC. Somebody did ask, if you register now as an individual, but later want to become a team or join a team, can you still do that? Absolutely. You can join, create, or add a team at any time. So even after you've registered, Emily showed you where your dashboard is on that homepage. There is a button on there that says create or join a team. So anytime, even if you've been in the system for 2 months and you decide, hey, I want to actually join a team, you could still go on your dashboard and find the team, select add, or even create one. You can create it at any time. So that's still a possibility. And then we did have one other note that I wanted to make, and Emily, you might have mentioned this, team fundraising. If you do want to fundraise as a team and you still need more ideas of what to do, we have some great webinars from the last couple of years. We used to do a webinar just geared towards teams. I will send that in the follow-up email because we won't be doing one this year because we've had a lot of great ideas shared already. But we've had a ton of our past team captains join us and talk about what kind of events they do, how they've started them, how they run them. So if you're a team and you need more help, I would definitely say to go to our YouTube, and I'll send the links, and check some of those past webinars because they have a lot of great ideas. Other than that, I think we've answered everything, but just as a reminder, if you do have a question, we do have a Q&A box at the bottom. Sorry that I didn't mention that at the beginning. We will have a time at the end where we'll stop and look at the questions again and answer anything that's open. So feel free, if you had a question from earlier, if anything pops in your mind, drop it in the Q&A box and we will answer it either live at the end or we'll type directly to you so you get that answer.
And Ash, you reminded me before we do move on, or maybe it's the last screen you'll bring up back on there, is although we do connect directly through Facebook, when you do it from your dashboard, it's important to note that avoid Instagram fundraising. It does not, unfortunately, connect to your Facebook, your CHOC Walk fundraising page. And so I know it's a little bit unfortunate. I know a lot of people use Facebook fundraisers and Instagram, but Instagram will not connect. So we want to ensure that you get your proper fundraising recognition for the hard work you're doing. So we just encourage you to not do that. And if you do want to post on your Instagram, just use the normal link and add your CHOC Walk fundraising link directly. That way it goes right to the CHOC Walk fundraising page. People can make a donation on your page, but when you link it up, there's, technology. Sometimes we love it, we hate it. It just doesn't connect with our technology at this time. And so please avoid connecting it to Instagram, because you will not get the proper, recognition for those.
Yes, those are all great notes, and we're definitely gonna be able to push that out on our website and make sure you know about that. Make sure you do it on your dashboard. Don't go directly to Facebook. Don't go directly to Instagram. Unfortunately, those don't connect to CHOC Walk. They go directly to the hospital, which don't connect to our CHOC Walk side. So it usually takes months before they even come in. So we want you to get that total you're looking for. So make sure you do it on the dashboard, and make sure, like we said, no Instagram. Unfortunately, that doesn't connect. So we don't want you to miss out on those dollars. And then Emma already covered this, but just so you're aware, we'll follow up and make sure you have all of the directions on how to create your own flyer, because I know people love to create flyers for their team, for their story, and I think it makes a great impact when you're out in the community, whether you're doing a lemonade stand or you're at your corporate functions. I think it's a great addition. Okay, so now we've talked a lot about the event details. We've talked a lot about the fundraising incentives. We've talked a lot about all of the, very specifics on logistics of the event, but we want to talk more about why we're doing what we're doing. So we talked a little bit at the beginning. Really, this event, like I said, is a celebration for CHOC. It's a celebration for what we're able to do as a community. And at the end of the day, our event is really for our CHOC patients and families. Our main goal at CHOC is to make it the best experience possible that we can for our CHOC patients. Like I said, we don't want it to feel like a hospital. We want it to feel like they are not in a hospital at all. We try to do everything we can to make it a good experience for them and make it feel like they're not having to put their life on pause. And so what we like to do every year to remind everybody, all of this stuff is great. All of the magic is great. All of the event day and, the Disney and everything else is awesome. But the true meaning of what we're doing is giving back to CHOC and giving back to our families. So every year we pick one very special CHOC patient, and we like to share their story in order to remind you why we're fundraising and what the fundraising is going towards. And so this year we want to introduce you to a very special young lady who will be this year's CHOC Walk Ambassador, and she's going to be representing our event. She'll be on Main Street early in the morning to share her story with you. And I think it's a great way for you to learn a little bit more about what we're actually doing for CHOC and where the funds are actually going. So before I introduce her, I want to show a quick video about her CHOC story.
It was April of 2023. Me and my whole family went on spring break to Hawaii, and the trip was going great. It was so fun, but towards the end of the trip, I started experiencing pretty bad back pain. So I went to urgent care, they did x-rays, couldn't find anything, but the doctor said, "What's that lump on your neck?" He told us, "Go to CHOC Hospital right now, don't even go home, just go." I got into an MRI and they came back with the news that there was a mass on my back connected to my neck. My surgeon said if we don't get this girl surgery, she's going to be paralyzed. So I had emergency surgery that night. Over the next 6 days, I was in the ICU, and every single day they were being talked to with bad news. And then it's neuroblastoma, cancer, stage 4, high risk, so a very, very aggressive cancer.
It's just something that you think will never happen to you. You always hear about it happening to other families, and then when it happens to you, it's shocking, and you just try to get through it every single day.
So as a family, we just said, okay, how are we gonna do this? Let's get through this as best as we can. She really decided to battle with joy. She was able to find the littlest thing to be happy about. And with her having that attitude, that really kind of led our family to go, okay, we're not gonna mope, we're not gonna be sad, we're just gonna find those moments of joy and let that get us through this experience.
CHOC was the best place to be, to go through this. And there was times when I couldn't go home. I was there for New Year's and Halloween, but I felt so loved. And I love doing YouTube and social media, and a lot of the big moments, like joyful, were doing TikTok dances with my nurses. And they were always so supportive and would be like, yeah, we'll come in it. And that like lit up the whole Keem around for me.
I think the apple's rotten right to the core from all the things was done from all the apples coming before.
It was comforting when you ran into the doctor that you love, or the nurse who was just laughing and joking with your kid. It really helped, I think, me and us to get Belle through it, because it provided relief to us as well, that you're surrounded by people who love you.
Finished treatment in August, and then I rang the bell September 16th, 2024. And that was the most magical, mind-blowing moment. I had a bunch of my friends there, our family, and then a bunch of my nurses, and Lois, the therapy dog, my doctors, and it was just like, it was amazing. CHOC Walk is my favorite day of the entire year. Like, seriously, right? Yeah.
Yes.
It's my two favorite things, CHOC and Disneyland. We're a huge Disney family, so I couldn't wait. I was just counting down the days, and you came up with the name Belle's Brigade. Once we had all these friends just send enormous amounts of love and gifts and all that, and we built an army, is what we like to call it.
The CHOC Walk for us is a way to give back to a family that we'll never be able to repay. And this is a way that we can give back to them and say thank you. And so we want to shout it from the mountaintops and shout it to all the people that know us and that love Belle.
Will you be the 2025 CHOC Walk Ambassador? What? I'm gonna cry.
I think that will make Belle a great CHOC Walk Ambassador is that she's always like joyful, and she'll always be like so happy when she's speaking, and she'll just make other people joyful while she's speaking. So I'm looking forward to that.
Just to tell my little self, or my year ago, like that I was in the hospital, like not knowing what was gonna happen, that I would be on that stage and be able to do this, and it's a dream come true, and I couldn't imagine anything sweeter. Like, my mind was blown, and it was the best day. This is a way for me to give back to CHOC and show the love to CHOC that they've shown me.
So we are so excited and honored and thrilled to introduce this year's 2025 CHOC Walk Ambassador, Belle.
Hey everyone, I'm Belle. I'm 16 years old. I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm the 2025 CHOC Walk Ambassador. So I thank you all for letting me be here. I'm so excited. You all saw my story in that video, but to sum it up, CHOC is just such an amazing and special place to me. I always tell my parents, now that I'm cancer-free and I'm back at school and all that I miss CHOC a lot because of all the relationships I've built, and I spent so much time there that it became a second family to me. So every appointment I have, I'm still in physical therapy, relearning how to walk. Every time I have something at CHOC, I look forward to it because I get to see the people that have made such a big impact in my life. So CHOC is just such a special place for me, and Disneyland too. So to be the CHOC Walk Ambassador is a huge honor, and to show the love that CHOC has shown me, like I said in the video, just means a lot. But I wanted to show you all, as the CHOC Walk Ambassador, the three of my favorite things of CHOC Walk, I always say it's so magical, the big purpose, and it's literally the best, most fun day of the year. My mom always says this, like when you walk down Main Street, seeing all the people, it's pitch black outside, but there is music blasting. You all have the early morning, like, excitement. Seeing all these families walk, either walking for their friend or family member who's going through cancer. They're walking to remember fighters who have passed away, or they're just walking to walk. Seeing all these people with signs, and that means so much, thinking, oh my gosh, all these people are going through a very difficult time, but they're all coming together to walk for these kids. And knowing all these people on my team, I had a ton of people on my team, Belle's Brigade, for last year's walk and the year before that, we had our friends. Just seeing all these people come together for kids who need it the most just means so much to me. And it's this most magical feeling. I can't describe it unless you're there. It is just the best feeling in the world. It raises money to support programs that encourage help kids get through tough times of treatments. And that is the purpose, is it raises money to make sure kids who are going through treatment are entertained and are happy, because cancer is not a happy thing. But I think that is a huge reason why I felt so safe and loved and at home at CHOC, is they made sure that I was still having a good time through my treatments and I was still having a smile on my face. And this money helps programs like Lois the therapy dog, one of my absolute favorites, and her handler Chloe. They were so sweet and would just come in my room and snuggle with me and actually have very deep talks with me and would always make me feel better if I was going through a hard day. The nurses and staff would do TikTok dances with me. Ryan Seacrest Studios was one of my favorite. I got to meet Ryan Seacrest, and I would actually a lot of the time host bingo with Josh and Luke, the workers at Ryan Seacrest Studios. It was always so much fun. And they always have some musicians will come and play guitar, or they do piano lessons or art lessons. It's just super cool that they have a bunch of different options based on what kids like. That I've gotten to party with Mickey and Minnie Mouse at the hospital Christmas party. Like I've said, I'm a huge Disney fan, so that was awesome. Having Mickey and Minnie at CHOC, that just meant so much to me. And a lot of celebrities will actually come to CHOC, which is really cool. So I got to meet Jennifer Garner. We got to watch one of her new movies, I think December 2024. Or 3, we got to watch one of her new movies. And then about 10 minutes later, after we finished the movie, she walked into my room. And I'm a big fan of her, so that was such a crazy, surreal moment. And all together with all those programs that CHOC Walk supports, CHOC is just making sure that these kids feel safe and loved. And I know I definitely felt safe and loved while this. And I love doing social media and TikToks and Instagram. So I always post about my treatments or the dances with the nurses, like I've said. And all these people would always tell me, your hospital looks incredible. My parents always say they wish adult hospitals were more like children's hospitals, because they're just so amazing. And I just have no words to describe how loved and amazing I feel when I was at CHOC. So I'm so grateful. So for this upcoming CHOC Walk, I cannot wait. I want to make it the best walk ever. And I'm planning on rallying my friends, family, hospital staff, school, YouTube community, social media, anyone to join Belle's Brigade, my team. And if you don't have a team, you're invited to be part of Belle's Brigade. I would absolutely love for any of you to come join my team. That would mean so much. And I want to make my team as big and loud and fun as possible. So thank you all so much for letting me talk. Bye.
Thank you, Belle. So excited to see you on Main Street, CHOC Walk Day. So everybody, if you want to get to know Belle, if you want to meet her, she'll be there on CHOC Walk Day. So you'll want to make sure you get there bright and early, because she'll be leading the charge on August 3rd. Thanks, Belle.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so that sums up our presentation, but now we want to jump into questions. So we have had a few questions jump in the chat, so I want to make sure that I answer them in case anybody else has the same question. We did have one question about, if you want to register somebody else, but you don't know who they are yet, can you just get them in the system and then switch them later? I would definitely suggest to wait until you know who will be joining, until you actually get them in the system. You will need to set their email and password. And once you already have somebody in there, it's really hard to switch that up. Or if you add them to your account, it's hard to take them out and give them their own account. So I would say wait until you're ready, wait until you have the person confirmed, you have their email, and then you can get them in the system. We did also have a question about if you want to add people to your account. So say you're a mom, you want to register your 3 kids and your husband under your account. They're not going to go into their account. They're not going to have an email, obviously, for the kids. There is an option when you register to add somebody to your account. I would definitely suggest to go on the website on the registration details. It walks you through all of the different stipulations on who you can add and how it works and which option to choose. But that's definitely an option. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually just brought that up. If you want me to go ahead and share my screen, I can just show them what that would look like.
Yep.
If you're not used to seeing it. So this is, so basically I put in my own details, and then you press next at the bottom of that screen and it'll bring you here to which is the add friends piece. So if you click on that plus sign, you'll see there's two options like Ashley mentioned. If you're adding someone that either does not have their email address or you just want to manage their account, you would pick the first option, and that is managed under your account. So when you log into your page, you would see a drop down and you would see like Emily's page, your husband's page, your child's page, whomever, and you can manage them all under your one email. If it's your husband, for example, or your wife or whomever, and they have their own email address, but you want to get them started, or you want to get a friend started, you can use the second option, which is register participant with their own email. You would type their own email in, and what it does is the system prompts an email to be sent out to them, and they click the link and finish their registration. So those are the two options. It's super simple. While you do your registration yourself, you can add with your own email. You'll see with same email address, you add their first and last name, or you do the other one and you'll enter that participant's email address directly.
One thing to note, and while you're there, if you choose the second option and you enter their email, it is going to send them an email that says somebody started your registration. Please click here to finish. So they still have to go in and set their password. Until they do that, they're not going to show on the website. So you're essentially kickstarting the process, but you're not getting them in the system. So make sure that you keep that in mind when you do send it to them, follow up with them and make sure that they've gone in, set their password. Otherwise, they won't show up on your team. And then if you could go to the following screen, just to show the last screen of registration. Somebody did also ask in the chat, when you register, is $10 all that's required of you? Yes, all you need to pay when you register is $10. So it depends, obviously, if you're going to register more than one person, say you add somebody to your account, it would be 20 because it'll be 10 per person. But when you finish, you're not required to pay the full 125. You're not required to pay any more. It'll just ask you for that $10 registration fee and take your credit card information. That will be just to pay for the registration. We are not going to store your credit card to charge at a later date. So I know people have asked this in the past. If you sign up to pay the 125 and then you don't reach it by the end, we will not be charging your credit card. However, if you do come to check in and you want to just pay the remainder while you're there and use the card on file, we can absolutely do that. Just know it's not going to be a date where all of a sudden your card will get charged. So either you reach the amount, you come to check in, you get your wristband, or if you don't reach it, then you obviously just won't get a wristband and you won't attend. So that is a good question. Another question we had was, can you change your goal amount? So yes, if you set your goal to 125 and then you raise 200 right off the bat, you have your Facebook fundraiser, you raise it instantly, you're going to want to update that goal and put it higher so people want to donate more. So on your dashboard, there's a place there to update your goal. You can do that anytime. And if you have a goal that's high and you don't reach it, again, we're not going to expect that amount from you. Your card isn't going to be charged. It's just going to be what you're striving to reach. Another question was, are funds supporting Mission Viejo? So CHOC actually isn't even a hospital anymore. We're a healthcare system. So we are growing rapidly and we're actually trying to build a new building right by CHOC, which is why we're doing a lot of extra fundraising right now. So yes, the money that you raise is going to CHOC admission, and any of our future organization advancements that we're adding, because we really want CHOC to be a world-class healthcare system. So we are trying to raise as much money as possible to make that happen. So yes, our funds are supporting not only CHOC, but all of those different organizations. And then our t-shirts and medals given to all walkers, if you raise the specific amount. So if you're at the 375, then you get a medallion. If you're at the 125, you get a t-shirt. That fundraising incentives page is going to list exactly what you get. So based on what you raise, you get those prizes. So you'll add them on as you go, if that makes sense. And anything that you can add? Any other questions that anybody has that they want to drop into the Q&A before we close up? Okay, I think that might be it. We definitely are still available to you. So we have a contact page on our website, which I'm not sharing right now. Hold on a second. So we'll send this out. We have our contact on here. The contact page will have our email. We do have a phone number that you can call that that you leave a message, we can call you back. If you need support fundraising, if you have a question along the way, if you need help making a donation, feel free to reach out to us. We are available to help you out with anything that you might need. Again, if you need help with your teams, we have other past webinars that talk specifically about teams. So I would definitely say to look back on our YouTube. We have a ton of great stuff on there, and I'll send out links as a follow-up. But we have lots of resources available on the website, on our YouTube, on our social media. We're going to be promoting throughout the season about different, tips or different activities that are going on. So definitely check out our social media for updates. But other than that, I think we had one final question. Yes, we did mention about the teams. If you want to pick up for a team, you can pick up for your whole team at check-in. If you want to pick up for your family, we do have a link to the check-in page just with the different stipulations on it. But you can pick up for a team. And so anything else, you guys can definitely reach out to us, and we look forward to seeing you on August 3rd. Thank you all so much.